let me introduce you to a dynamic that is as old as celebrity culture itself and somehow never gets less entertaining to watch play out. Take one billionaire supermodel who could quite literally have anyone on Earth and consistently chooses men who are emotionally unavailable as a personality trait. Add one extremely attractive, extremely charming actor who is at the absolute peak of his career and has apparently decided that commitment is something that happens to other people. Put them both at Coachella, which at this point functions less as a music festival and more as a pressure cooker for decisions nobody involved will fully explain later. And watch the internet collectively lose its composure. Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi are allegedly hooking up. He is reportedly not ready for a relationship. And somehow, in 2026, this is the content we are all consuming with our full attention, and I refuse to apologize for covering it. Here is what has been pieced together, because the actual confirmed information is approximately 3 sentences long, and the surrounding speculation is approximately 17 pages. Kendall and Jacob have been spending time together. Things reportedly intensified at Coachella, where they were seen being, and I am using the source's exact energy here, close, cozy, and very much not acting like two people discussing the weather. Which, at Coachella, where the entire atmosphere is specifically engineered for questionable decisions and temporary emotional attachments, is not exactly shocking information. Coachella is basically the Olympics of situationships, and this alleged development fits the setting perfectly. Insiders are saying that while there is clearly chemistry and something happening between them, Jacob is not looking to make anything serious happen right now. Which in Celebrity Translator means he enjoys the energy, he enjoys the attention, he enjoys Kendall, and he enjoys his freedom slightly more than all of the above combined. The freedom wins. The freedom always wins at this stage of his career arc. Because here is the Jacob Elordi pattern that the internet has now documented thoroughly enough to constitute a case study. He gets linked to genuinely stunning, accomplished, high-profile women. There are sightings, there is chemistry. Everyone starts speculating about timelines and soft launches and whether this one is different. And then, reliably, the information surfaces that he is just not ready for anything serious right now, which has now appeared in enough articles about him that it should probably be listed in his official biography alongside his credits and his height. At this point, not ready is less a personal state and more a brand identity. It is his thing. He is the peak career guy, which is a very specific and very recognizable archetype. Everything is going well professionally, the momentum is building, the offers are coming in, and emotional availability becomes the first casualty of that trajectory. It is not villainous, it is not even particularly surprising. It is just the calculation that a certain kind of person makes when they look at their life and decide that adding complexity to it is not the move right now. He looked at his current situation and decided it was working. He is correct that it is working. And he is also correct that committing to something that could complicate it is not currently on the agenda. Now, Kendall. Because the more interesting question in this entire situation is not what Jacob is doing, which is transparent and consistent and essentially announced in advance. The more interesting question is what Kendall is doing, and specifically why. If anyone in this situation has the leverage to demand more, it is Kendall Jenner. The woman is a billionaire. She has her own cultural gravity that exists entirely independently of whoever she is or is not seeing. She does not need the validation. She does not need the attention. She has all of it already. And yet, consistently, she gravitates toward situations that stay deliberately undefined. She does not apply pressure. She keeps things light. She maintains the kind of unbothered energy that makes it genuinely difficult to tell if she is deeply at peace with the arrangement or simply very good at performing that she is. And here is the uncomfortable reading of that pattern, the one nobody wants to say out loud, but that the comment sections are absolutely saying anyway. When you never apply pressure, when you consistently signal that commitment is not something you require, you make it very comfortable for people to stay exactly where they are indefinitely. The no-pressure approach can look like emotional sophistication from the outside and function as a trap from the inside. Not a trap anyone set deliberately, just the kind of trap that happens when one person is genuinely fine with lightness and the other person is using that lightness as indefinite cover. Which brings us to the part of this story that always arrives eventually, regardless of how casual everything starts. Someone always catches feelings. This is not speculation. This is not pessimism. This is simply the documented outcome of the vast majority of situations that begin with two attractive people spending significant time together and insisting it is nothing. The human brain is not wired to indefinitely separate physical proximity and emotional connection, regardless of how many times people in their 20s convince themselves otherwise. The question is never if. The question is always who catches first and whether they say anything about it. And the answer, statistically and historically, is that it is usually not the person who announced up front that they were not ready. The not ready person made their position clear, and the other person agreed to the terms. When the terms become uncomfortable, the person who agreed to them is the one holding feelings they did not budget for, and the person who set the terms is genuinely confused about why the arrangement they both agreed to is now a problem. This is not unique to Kendall and Jacob. This is the foundational dynamic of approximately 60% of celebrity gossip that has ever existed. For now, they are giving Coachella chemistry, late-night energy, and zero official commitment. The alleged situation is exactly what it looks like. A right-now situation between two people who are both, by most available evidence, prioritizing their own lives and careers, and treating this as something that fits around that rather than something that shapes it. In a cultural moment where everyone is forcing labels after 2 dates and soft-launching people they have known for a week, there is something that almost functions as refreshing about two people just letting a thing be what it is without needing to name it. The problem, as always, is that things tend to not stay exactly what they are forever. They either fade out cleanly, which is the best-case scenario and the least likely outcome, or they drift into that uncomfortable territory where one person wants more than the arrangement technically allows, and nobody knows how to say that without making everything awkward. And at that point, the Coachella chemistry that started this whole conversation becomes a different kind of headline entirely. Jacob Elordi is not ready for a relationship. He has essentially announced this publicly. Whether Kendall Jenner is okay with that indefinitely, or whether she is currently telling herself she is fine while something quieter is doing the math in the background, that is the part of this story the insiders cannot report on yet. But something always tips. Drop your prediction in the comments. Does this fade quietly, or does it become another headline? Like the video if this breakdown gave you something to think about, and subscribe so you are here when the update inevitably arrives. See you then.